you? Good. Parfait, on y va? Okay. Hi, everyone. First and foremost, I would like to react on the steel and aluminum tariffs and the decision by the White House yesterday night. You've heard the Prime Minister. These tariffs are completely unacceptable. They're unjustified, they're unlawful, and we'll make sure that we fight against them. Meanwhile, I've been in close contact with lots of CEOs, at least 10 of them, from the steel and aluminum sectors yesterday night and this morning, and also with major labor organizations from Unifor to steelworkers or la FTQ. We know that people are anxious, and we know that lots of communities are impacted by these tariffs. That's why what we're doing right now is we'll continue to fight against them. We'll make sure also that we continue to negotiate with the Americans a security and trade partnership. The Prime Minister had alluded to that earlier today, and at the same time, Dominic LeBlanc, the Minister of the U.S.-Canada Trade, was in Washington yesterday. And finally, we know that meanwhile, what we need to do here in Canada is we need to build. We need to create jobs in the country. We need to make sure that ultimately we create a very strong domestic market and we create jobs. And that's what we'll do. We'll make sure to do that through major projects, major infrastructure projects, and we will do that also investing in our defense sector, creating jobs here at home that, of course, will have an impact on the steel and aluminum workers. I will be taking your questions, but before, allow me to say this in French. So, there's lots of noise here in Parliament, lots of action. Okay.
With the idea of, what about the idea
David.
And by the way, it was Minister Champagne making all that noise.
You said it, I didn't say it. I recognize the voice.
The concept of dollar-for-dollar retaliatory tariffs. At one point in the campaign, the leader, Mark Carney, was talking about that. Why not dollar-for-dollar tariffs today?
So I don't know if it was you or somebody else asked him already the question. It is an important question. We have had really strong counter tariffs against the Americans already. With China and now newly Mexico, we've imposed important counter tariffs. We will make sure that we impose maximum pain to the U.S. while having minimum pain, minimum impact to Canadians. We are looking at different scenarios right now, and we will take a decision, but we need a bit more time right now, not too long. But of course, what is fundamental is we need to make sure that in everything we do, we're able to get to the best deal with the Americans, but at the same time that we're able to create and protect jobs here in the country.
Steel producers say that, fast-tracking infrastructure projects is a medium-term fix, not a short-term one, and we need something done immediately. They suggested
That's a very good question.
Hiking tariffs on China as a result and other unfair traders.
No, that's a very good question. Why? Because that's exactly what lots of CEOs have said, because obviously lots of companies will have to decide what they do in their coming weeks. Tomorrow is Steel Day on the Hill. I will be meeting with the heads of many steel organizations here in the country. Yesterday, the Prime Minister and I had a meeting with the global CEO of ArcelorMittal, who owns the ArcelorMittal Dofasco steel in Hamilton, and also the Contrecoeur plant in Quebec. These were exactly the conversations. How can we make sure that we protect jobs? How we make sure that we protect investments? And how can we be in solution mode at the government level? So I'm willing to have these conversations with these decision makers, because we need to make sure to be there as a government to ultimately protect the jobs.
That Premier Ford is undermining the Prime Minister right now. He was on American TV saying that he's demanded retaliatory tariffs to the Prime Minister. He's talking to reporters saying that the Prime Minister is being steamrolled by Trump.
So if my colleague Dominic LeBlanc was answering you this question, he would say we're all in Team Canada. And of course, that's what we'll do. But the other thing is it's fundamental that we fight against these tariffs. We've said it from day one, and we'll continue to do so. This was also an important question during the elections. Canadians gave us the mandate to negotiate with the Americans, but at the same time to make sure that we would build the strongest economy of the G7, and that's exactly what we'll do.
Can you see some of the revenues from the tariffs?
Tariffs?
When
Yeah. Okay.
When-
Thank you so much,
She's
guys.
the boss. Yeah, have a good one.